Hello, and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show where we talk about movies, and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. Since you're here, you obviously love the show. So, if you want to love the show even more, if you want to show your support even more, you should check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, where for only $3 a month, you can get literal hundreds of hours of exclusive entertainment, exclusive episodes, commentary tracks, there's some exclusive videos, bunch of stuff. Check it out. There's links everywhere, especially down below in the description. Other than that, though, if you're here just for the free episodes, subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. And let's get into the conversation. Because today we're talking about another horror movie. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, it's almost December and we're still talking about horror movies. Because there's too many horror movies. There are too many good horror movies coming out nowadays, I think. We didn't used to have this embarrassment of riches. Just a few years ago. Well, I guess like 10 years ago. But either way, we're talking today about the third adaptation of a famous horror novel. It's Stephen King's Salem's Lot, the HBO Max version. Whoa! Yes, starring
HBO Max exclusive.
Yeah. Yes, it
starring
is.
Who?
Starring Lewis Pullman, Mackenzie Lee, Jordan Preston Carter, Alfred Woodard, some other people, Pilo Asbeck, which was fun to see, and some other people you might know: Bill Camp, Spencer Street Clark, from what's it called, Unbreakable.
I know the face, yeah.
Unbreakable. William Sadler, another Stephen King adaptation alumni. I think he's been in like 3 or 4 of them now. He's in what's it called, The Mist. He's in The Shawshank Redemption. Now he's in this. I guess that's 3. Okay, whatever. But still. And it's written and directed by Gary Dauberman, who you might not know and never heard of, but I've heard of him. We're going to talk more about him later. But yeah, the story is the classic story. Writer guy comes back to his hometown of Jerusalem's, or Salem's Lot, looking for inspiration for his new book. But during his stay, people start disappearing, people start dying, and it turns out there's a bunch of vampires in the city! Oh my god, spoilers! Well, I mean, everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that by now.
They don't really cover that up, really, in the book or the movies, I think.
No. We're
going to do a little bit of a comparison. I've read the book a long time ago, like, 10, 15 years ago. I've never seen any of the 2 other adaptations. There's one by Toby Hooper, which came out in the 70s, I think. Which was, 79, yeah. Which was a short film, I think. A limited series. A miniseries, and then there was Salem's Lot in 2004, starring Rob Lowe and Andre Wronger. I don't know who made that. Doesn't even say. Weird. Either way, this time around though, they decided to make one movie of it, for better or for worse, I suppose. But we're also going to talk a little bit about the movie, about the book, because you read it just recently, right?
I am still reading it, technically.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
I have not managed to finish it.
Oh.
It just got interesting, though, so...
how far in are you, then?
Like a third?
Oh, okay, oh.
It's kind of slow in the beginning.
Yeah, it is.
Which makes it hard to get into the exciting part.
Huh.
But now that I know more of what's actually going to happen, I'm more excited, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad, because I wanted to compare...
I know. We had an idea that I was supposed to finish it, but...
I only remember brief parts of it, since it's so long since I read it. But whatever. Let's just talk about the movie, then.
Yeah.
And let's start the way we're supposed to start. What did you think of Salem's Lot?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah?
Except for the main vampire and how he looked, because he looked so misplaced with how like CGI he was, or looked CGI, or like too smooth and too, I don't know, out of this world, I guess. Which, not that kind of out of this world. Because he just didn't fit into the picture really. It looked like he was put on top of it or something sometimes. I didn't like that part. Otherwise, really liked the movie. It was scary sometimes. It was entertaining. It was an adventure almost. I liked it.
All right. No,
what about you? What did you think?
Oh, I just like the book. Yeah, it's kind of boring in the beginning, but then it really picks up after like the first 20 minutes, half an hour. Yeah, it had some. It was light on jump scares, which is funny talking about Gary Doberman. Instead, but it had some jump scares. It had some good jump scares, I'd say.
Exactly.
When it had jump scares, it was good. But yeah, it had that kind of old school creepy feeling. It was spooky. It wasn't just people sitting around and going, "Oh!" It was actually like it was building a mood. Not much in terms of characters. Like didn't really care about any of the characters. Not really. Which is
this one felt more story.
More
based,
plot focused, which is not. I mean, the book is to an extent, but the book definitely delves more into the characters.
Yes.
But I also like that it got kind of weird sometimes. I gotta say, I appreciate the look of the vampire. I don't remember if they describe the way he looks in the book really, but I know that they borrowed heavily from the Tobe Hooper miniseries look of the vampire in this. Because they go straight Nosferatu in that one. You picked up on that, right? That he looks like Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I enjoyed that, and like I said, I enjoyed that. It was kind of weird at times. Not saying it's on the same level, but it almost had like a Evil Dead feel to it.
A little
with
bit,
some of the weird camera movements and the sped up stuff. And and the violence, I would say, even though this is definitely more toned down than even the modern Evil Dead. No, but I enjoyed it. I say the last act, I really got into it, like talking to the screen, which I rarely do. So I enjoyed it. I wish we had more.
Yeah, it made me look up more vampire movies, and I just ended up watching Twilight and Morbius, which
what?
I couldn't think of another vampire movie I hadn't seen in a while.
So you watched Twilight and Morbius?
Yeah. I haven't seen Morbius. I haven't finished it.
I've never even
got bored.
I've never even.
I started it and went halfway through and started doing other stuff, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what's happening. I don't care.
The best part is...
And Twilight was just because I wanted to watch something I hadn't watched in a while.
Okay.
I like those movies. Shut up.
Sure. I don't know.
I was a teenager.
I never read any of the books, and I only saw the first movie. It wasn't for me.
No, exactly. It wasn't made for you, so it doesn't matter.
All movies aren't made for you. Anyway. Well, I guess that's it then. We both recommend the movie. Thank you so much for listening. Now, was there any specifics other than that the vampire looked fake? I mean, it's fake.
He just looked like, I don't know, plasticky or something. Something was off with how...
almost like he's
the design.
Inhuman, unnatural.
But like, not the design itself. It was like a sheen on him or like a filter on him or something that just made him not fit into the screen sometimes.
I didn't notice that at all. Let me look him up.
Maybe it's just my screen then.
Yeah, maybe it's your crappy computer screen. Because you watch it on a computer, I suppose.
Yes.
Not on the very expensive, very nice TV you have.
No, it was very taken by someone else.
Well, not all the time. I know for a fact that you have lots of free time nowadays, so...
Yeah, but not when I was watching this.
Okay. So I'm gonna look it up. Well, my computer screen is better than yours as well. So, but no,
that's true.
I'll look anyway. Maybe it's different on the computer when you're streaming it on the browser. Oh, Oh, he doesn't show up much though, so I gotta find him somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue. Because all the other vampires were really cool.
I think you see him most in the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he has kind of. Well, yeah, his skin is smooth, but it's not like CGI smooth. I think it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like. It's obviously very pale, but it's almost supposed to look like dead. Like it's like, not dry, but like bloodless. Like it's almost translucent because he's drained of blood. He's a vampire.
It's the smoothness, though. I think it's a bit too smooth.
I don't know.
It's a nitpick.
That didn't bother me at all.
No.
Oh.
Other than that, I don't think I have it. I mean, there's one thing that fleshed out the book, the beginning of the book, at least, a lot, which is why, what the fuck was his name? Ben Mears, why he's in town. Yeah, he's researching the whole his new book and all that, but he talks to Susan about exactly what, and it has a connection to the Marston house.
Yeah, and
that part isn't in here, and it's like that would have been a little bit more character development, and probably just enough to make him more interesting. Because now he's not interesting at all.
Yeah, exactly. They start out by him like, it feels like he's there. Oh yeah, he's researching his new book, but he's also kind of there to figure himself out, sort of trying to kind of remember what happened in his childhood, like he's carrying some sort of trauma. Is that that's in the book, right?
Yeah, in the book he tells Susan after like their second date or something that on a dare when he was a kid. He walked into the Marston house and he even went upstairs where Mr. Marston or whatever his name was had hung himself. Oh. And he walked into the room and he swore he saw him still dangling there and he didn't look like he'd been gone for 10 years or whatever. It was like he was just hung himself, and I think he like says something about him moving or something. Yeah. And that's the trauma, and he's like, I'm 100% sure that happened, but I need to like revisit the site to think about it or something, like if it actually happened. And that's also what he's basing his book on, Mr. Marston and his suicide, I guess.
Does that come back though? I mean, I guess you haven't read further than that, but I
don't know if it comes back. That's the issue. Yeah. But it is more of an explanation as to why he's there. Because just saying like, I used to live here. Okay, but you haven't lived here for what, 20 years?
Yeah. There's no reason. There's no reason in this version of the story for him to actually be from the town.
Not really,
He could just be traveling through.
Yeah, or he could just have heard about the Marston house and wanted to visit the creepy house to get inspiration for his next scary story.
Well, not even that, because the Marston house isn't really a scary house in this one. It's just a
house. That's even that.
Yeah.
The only time we get told that it's kind of scary is when the delivery guys are bringing down the... in the book, they describe it as a dresser or a bureau or something. Chest of drawers. I don't remember which word they use. Here it's straight up a casket.
Yeah.
Which is just like, but they're not supposed to understand that that's what it is. But I guess to speed up the process a little bit, they show it as a casket. They even break it a little bit. So dirt comes out. Like, oh my God, why is there dirt in this?
Once again, I mean, that's a general vampire reference, but it's a Nosferatu reference again, because he sleeps in a coffin full of dirt. I mean, Dracula does as well, but
exactly.
I just quickly googled the differences between specifically this version of the this adaptation in the book, and Ben Mears' backstory is altered and simplified. Book. Yes, Ben lived in Salem a lot as a child, but he experienced a haunting encounter at the Marston house, which shapes his character. Again, I guess kind of informs decisions he makes during the story.
Yeah.
Here, nothing. We don't really know who he is, other than he's a writer. I guess
he mentions that he lived here, or nearby,
and there was a. Well, they do kind of, though, because there's this thing about, like, how trauma affects a child, because he talks about a car accident. right? I think he mentions the car when they're at the drive-in theater.
Yeah, something about his parents?
Yeah. And
Right, that's why he lived with his grandma.
yeah, and we do know that they talk later when the first child disappears. Earl? Larry? What was his name?
Oh, I don't remember.
The first kid who disappears? Either way.
One of the Glick kids, right?
Yes. After he disappears, hey, spoiler,